was born, I was chosen. An accident made right. Their love and care couldn't keep me there. I spread my wings and took flight. Room to room I was searching for home, for family. Faraway eyes and their cheap goodbyes kept me looking still for someone like me, my community. Why can't I see that they hold the key? Flying free just as I wanna be, no fixed address, tied to none. Is this freedom? Moving on, gone before the light of dawn, no fixed address. I'll find my own garden of Eden. Broke on the street in Tampa, hitched on to New Orleans. Rainbow snakes and levee breaks sent me back to the road again. Made it down to the west side, kissed the ocean shore. Sunny rays and Hollywood days kept me looking still for something more, to be part of the core, not a swinging door. Flying free just as I wanna be, no fixed address, tied to none. Is this freedom? Moving on, gone before the light of dawn, no fixed address. I'll find my own garden of Eden. Getting tired of rambling, traveled for miles, had my share of trials. Freedom's abandoned, time to learn their styles and practice my smiles. Flying free just as I wanna be, no fixed address, tied to none. Is this freedom? Moving on, gone before the light of dawn, no fixed address. I'll find my own garden of Eden. Rode the dog to the hammer, trying to settle down. But triple X and backroom sex lit up late nights in Hogtown. Étranger à la métropole sent me back west. 2 decades past, my die has been cast with a temporary address. Have I been blessed with a place to rest? It's all a test. Flying free just as I wanna be, no fixed address, tied to none. Is this freedom? Moving on, gone before the light of dawn, no fixed address. I'll find my own garden of Eden. No fixed address. No fixed address.
Amazing. Good morning, and welcome. Welcome back. Welcome home. Welcome to your neighborhood Unitarian Universalist congregation. My name is Rev Sally Frische. I am delighted to serve as the minister of this congregation. It's wonderful to be here with all of you. Whether you're here in person or one of our many online participants on Zoom, know that this service is here for you. May you find in it something that you need. For those of us in person, remember to be aware of the various needs and boundaries of one another while we're together, honoring our mask-required seating area, keeping aisles clear for mobility devices, and allowing for social distancing as needed. We're a community of many ages and many abilities, which means we embrace whatever little noises or distractions that come with being together. We're committed to a love that makes space for all. If you have a phone or another device that can be silenced, I invite you to do that now, unless your device is something that you'll need in order to access and participate in the service. And know that our services are usually about 90 minutes long, so if there's anything you need to make yourself comfortable during that time, sit, stand, stretch, pace, fidget, go get a glass of water from the kitchen, please feel free to do so. That includes going into the wiggle room just there, where there's toys and a comfy couch, or the activity table for all ages, where we have art supplies, a kinetic sandbox, a Guess Who game. If you're new and would like us to keep in touch, please fill out a newcomer card, which you can find in the back of one of the chairs in here, so that we can know how to reach you and let you know how to connect. Whoever you are, wherever you are in your relationship to belief, spirituality, or this community, we're glad that you're here today. This service is an invitation to be together, to rest for a moment amid the busyness of everyday life, and reflect more deeply about what it means to truly belong somewhere, and why it can be so hard to find that sense of genuine belonging and hold on to it in our lives. So before we begin, let's take a moment to acknowledge that we are here together, and turn and greet those around us with a good morning, a smile, a bow, a handshake. After you've greeted or introduced yourself to a neighbor, remember to wave to the camera and everyone online, and Susanne will ring the chime to bring us back together. Thank you. And there will be plenty of time for that after the service. For now, I am joined today by our wonderful service weaver, Allison, who will now help us enter into shared sacred space.
We'll start with the land recognition. This land that we're gathering on is on the territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, and has been lived on by the Wendat, the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and recently other First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. I'm mindful of broken covenants and the need to strive to make right with all our relations, sharing stories and telling the truth of this place. This weekend, the Three Fires Homecoming Powwow and traditional gathering is taking place in Hagersville. Yesterday, some of us, including members of the Indigenous Reconciliation Working Group, attended. The Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation hosts and welcomes all people to join this powwow and traditional gathering. The only stipulations are no drugs or alcohol, no pets, to be respectful of Mother Earth, and to bring a water bottle, as they aim for a zero waste event. May such openness and generosity, giving welcome to all people, willing to be fully present and respectful of Mother Earth, be a model to us. I come with respect for this land, and the people who have and do reside here, and I will work to support the resolution of their many outstanding legal land claims. My name is Allison Kabayama, and I will be your service weaver this morning. We start this morning's service by creating sacred space. I invite you to join me in reading our invocation, which is projected above. And if you cannot read the words, please allow the meaning of them to sink in and resonate within. Let us cast the circle of a sacred space here. Let us cast the circle of a cherished space here. A space of safety, a place of forgiveness, a place of love. If we want the world to change, we must craft in our space and in ourselves the seeds that grow a different kind of life. A life of graciousness, of creative intelligence, a place of life and spirit for ourselves and our families. This morning, the chalice will be lit by Prakash. The children's chalice is already lit, as is the flame of that inner child we all carry within us. As we pass that flame to our central chalice, may we be inspired to keep the children's fire alive in our hearts.
Thanks, Allison. Good morning, everyone. This morning we opened with Steve and I. Thanks, Steve, for joining me this morning. Opened with an original song, No Fixed Address. And for our centering music this morning, I'm going to share an original song, a song for Aaron. One of our sources of wisdom as Unitarian Universalists is that of lived experience. And both of these songs are autobiographical of how I, as an adoptee, have been searching for belonging in my life. The first, No Fixed Address, was around some hitchhiking I had done in the 90s, which I would never do actually now with the things how they are. And this second song, A Song for Aaron, is about finding belonging in a friendship. it's true. It's easy to say that I love you, lady. You will always have me. We're soul family till our last day. 'Cause we belong. We belong. We all long for somewhere to belong. We all want to belong.
Want to belong.
A song for Aaron.
Song
From the moment we met, our future was set. A friend till the end, Aaron. What more could we ask for? More time on the dance floor. Violet nights and sacred rites, we've been through so much. Though sometimes out of touch, we've still never had a fight. Adoptees in our mid-40s have made the choice to stay, and we're still staying together. May it always be that way with Aaron. I will always have you. Yes, it's true. It's easy to say that I love you, lady. You will always have me. We're soul family till our last day. 'Cause we belong. We belong. We all long for somewhere to belong. We all want to belong.
Want to belong.
We all want to belong. We all want to belong. Want to belong. Thank you.
That was great. Thank you so much. Now we continue in sacred space. We thank all those many staff and volunteers who have created this service. Our mission at Neighborhood is to empower spiritual growth and shared action for the care of our world. Our theme for the summer, I don't think we have a theme, I think it's summer. And our theme for today is longing for belonging. What does it mean to belong to a group or community? To truly belong? Rev Sally will be speaking on the subject today, and I'd like to share a few thoughts of my own here. As a child, I grew up in a Unitarian Universalist congregation. It was actually just called a Unitarian church at that point, where I felt wholly embraced, in particular, by the loving and dedicated religious education volunteers who taught and cared for us each Sunday. By us, I mean all the children in my class generally, but more specifically for myself and my twin brother, Alan. Some of you know Alan by his middle name, Kichiji. By the age of 3, I'm sure we could have been a handful, but I never remember there ever being any impatience or negativity from any of our teachers or any of the other UU members there. And so I always went willingly with my mother on Sundays and for other occasions. And this continued until after my 12th birthday. I didn't feel comfortable in the youth-led youth group, but that's a story for another time. Fast forward another 30 years later when I discovered neighborhood services in my own neighborhood of the Beaches. When I stepped through the door of the Beaches Art Center, I came with my very active toddler and his 10-year-old brother. From the first moment we were greeted and throughout service and coffee time, I felt we were all embraced just as we were, with our different needs, gifts, and growing edges. I have many stories of the welcome, acceptance, and encouragement to spiritual growth I've experienced at Neighborhood over the intervening 26 years. But I like to tell other UUs and non-UUs alike that you don't have to lop off one arm to fit in. Here we're invited in this setting to be our true selves and are not expected to wear a mask or hide aspects of our essential selves. At Neighborhood, we have talked about and encouraged to look at our own shadowy sides and not just the happy or conventionally acceptable parts. I also believe that we ought not to have to wear armor to protect ourselves when we are in our faith community. I can come in late or feeling a bit fuzzy-headed and wearing pajamas and not anticipate any bump-ups. In 2019, during one of the Truth, Healing, and Reconciliation Resource Guide series that were co-facilitated by Moira McDonald and Peter Marmarek, I decided to share a deeply hidden part of myself. I announced that I was going to have to eat my snack during the class and would not have any to share at class break time, contrary to our agreed upon etiquette. I also explained that I had to have my snack at that time due to hunger and in accordance with a highly regimented eating disorder treatment program. This was the first time I had shared publicly, outside of my nuclear family, that I had been struggling with eating disorder. This has been the case since I was 12 years old. I felt reckless or possibly brave, but I wanted to help combat the great stigma that exists everywhere by being open and unashamed. It probably shocked others, it might shock you, but no one displayed any such reaction or changed their attitude or behavior towards me as far as I could tell. So coming to this spiritual community has been the best move I could have made for myself and for my family. All the positive reflections I have received over the years have done as much or possibly more for my self-esteem than all the counseling and treatment therapy I have ever engaged in. Is a big reason why I struggle less and accept myself more. I feel it's important to bring to light the real difficulties or differences within many of us and not be judged or rejected. This is one important way to make our way through and potentially transform struggles into strengths and fears into joy. In the words of Brené Brown, American academic and podcaster, fitting in is about assessing a situation and becoming who you need to be accepted. Belonging, on the other hand, doesn't require us to change who we are. It requires us to be who we are. True belonging only happens when we present our authentic, imperfect selves to the world, which means our sense of belonging can never be greater than our level of self-acceptance. Embracing our vulnerabilities is dangerous, but not nearly as dangerous as giving up on love and belonging and joy, the experiences that make us the most vulnerable. Susanne has a song.
Thank you, Allison. As many of you know, the new UU hymnal has been released, Sing Out Love, and we will be learning a song a month from that hymnal, and I'm here to introduce to you the first song of the month. Steve, if you could join me up here. It's called Coming Home. This song was rated #1 by our own Spirit Choir. And I find that really interesting as we're talking about belonging, that the thing that spoke most to the choir was just that. I return to myself, here where I belong, I'm coming home like a bird to its nest, like a river to the ocean, I'm coming home. So I'm going to teach it to you phrase by phrase, and we'll sing it a few times. If you enjoy singing from a standing position, this would be a time to do that. Or consider standing from the waist up, as my my conductor used to say. Okay. So the first phrase is, I return to myself here where I belong. I return to myself here where I belong. I am coming home. I am coming home. Like a bird to its nest, like a river to the ocean. Like a bird to its nest, like a river to the ocean, I am coming home. I am coming home. I return to myself. Here where I belong, I am coming home. Like a bird to its nest, like a river to the ocean, I am coming home. More time. I return to myself.
Love that song. I was one of the ones who gave that song top marks. It's so beautiful. So we have a number of people joining us for Time for All Ages, including you all. And so I'm going to share the story Ira Sleeps Over by Bernard Weber. And Ira has been invited to a friend's house for a sleepover. And Ira has never slept away from home before. So you can maybe imagine how Ira is feeling. But I do see something peeking out through the kind of blankie teddy bear. So maybe the teddy bear will help. And I'm always curious to find out what people have named their their stuffies, their teddy bears. I don't know whether anybody, I'm sure you have memories of maybe you still have your stuffies or your first teddy bear. And I'd love to hear the names. Let's first of all hear from Lynn, because she has brought her childhood teddy bear. Do you want to introduce?
Yeah, oh, sure. This is Cuddles, and I got Cuddles as an adult, actually. But Cuddles was my mother's bear, which she got late in life. I had a green bear that I called Oso Verde, and I said to my mom, "You don't have a bear. Everybody needs a bear." So she went out and bought this bear, and I don't know where the little knapsack went, but it had a little knapsack with a tiny little bear inside. Its name is Cubby. So that's the story behind Cuddles.
Oh, thank you, Lynn. Cuddles. Cuddles is very well named. I bet you cuddle Cuddles a lot.
Yes, I do.
Yes, yes. Does anybody else want to share the names of their stuffies? Anybody? Do you want to? Anybody?
I'm gonna think.
Yeah, you want to think about? Yeah. Or,
this is enough.
yeah.
I had a basset stuffy when I was little, and his name was Rufus.
Aww.
I had a teddy with one eye. And I called him Popeye.
Popeye.
And I don't know what happened to Popeye, but now I have a gigantic Stitch doll that somebody gave me. And I've been sleeping with him for about 3 years. And I just got a single bed now, so he's like on the couch more now.
Thank you, Lynn.
I have a lot of raccoons, and they share something in common, and their names are Macoon, Pacoon, Lacoon, Provincial Parcoon, Honeycoon, Puffcoon, and I think that's it. And I got Provincial Parcoon from a provincial park.
Anybody else? Yes, Denise.
My whole childhood, I dragged around a Curious George doll. I can't use it's now just in storage because it'll fall apart soon.
Yeah.
But recently, over COVID, I became obsessed with Care Bears, and I must admit that I have 4 of them. So that's what's currently my, cuddle toy.
Thank you, Denise. Okay. Oh.
I have to share this because it's quite funny. Interestingly, my favorite stuffed animal as a child was a puppet named Peter Donkey.
No way. That was really cool. And my stuffy's name was Boo Boo. So, yeah. Ira sleeps over. I was invited to sleep at Reggie's house. Was I happy? I had never slept at a friend's house before. But I had a problem. It began when my sister said, "Are you taking your teddy bear along?" "Taking my teddy bear along," I said, "to my friend's house? Are you kidding? That's the silliest thing I ever heard. Of course I'm not taking my teddy bear." And then she said, "But you never slept without your teddy bear before. How will you feel sleeping without your teddy bear for the very first time?" Notice that she was behind the door there. "I feel fine. I feel great. I will probably love sleeping without my teddy bear. Just don't worry about it," I said. "Who's worried?" she said. But now she had me thinking about it. Now she really had me thinking about it. I began to wonder, suppose I won't like sleeping without my teddy bear. Suppose I just hate sleeping without my teddy bear. Should I take him? Take him, said my mother. Take him, said my father. But Reggie will laugh, I said. He'll say I'm a baby. He won't laugh, said my mother. He won't laugh, said my father. He'll laugh, said my sister. I decided not to take my teddy bear. That afternoon, I played with Reggie. Reggie had plans, big plans. Tonight, he said, when you come to my house, we are going to have fun, fun, fun. First, I'll show you my jump collection, and after that, we'll have a wrestling match. And after that, a pillow fight, and after that, we'll do magic tricks, and after that, we'll play checkers, and after that, we'll play dominoes, and after that, we can fool around with my magnifying glass. Great, I said, I can hardly wait. By the way, I asked, what do you think of teddy bears? But Reggie just went on talking and planning as if he had never heard of teddy bears. And after that, he said, do you know what we can do after that? I mean, when the lights are out and the house is really dark, guess what we can do? What? I asked. We can tell ghost stories. Ghost stories, I said. Ghost stories, said Reggie. Scary, creepy, spooky ghost stories. I began to think about my teddy bear. Does your house get very dark? I asked. Uh-huh, said Reggie. Very, very dark? Uh-huh, said Reggie. By the way, I said again, what do you think of teddy bears? Suddenly, Reggie was in a big hurry to go someplace. See you tonight, he said. See you, I said. I decided to take my teddy bear. Good, said my mother. Good, said my father. But my sister said, what if Reggie wants to know your teddy bear's name? Did you think about that? And did you think about how he will laugh and say, Ta is a silly baby name, even for a teddy bear? He won't ask, I said. He'll ask, she said. I decided not to take my teddy bear. At last it was time to go to Reggie's house. Good night, said my mother. Good night, said my father. Sleep tight, said my sister. I went next door where Reggie lived. That night, Reggie showed me his junk. He showed me his flashlight, his collection of bottle caps, a chain made of chewing gum wrappers, some picture postcard and egg timers, jumbo goggles, a false nose and a mustache, and a bunch of old rubber stamps and labels from his father's office. Attention, attention, urgent, personal and confidential, personal and confidential, personal and confidential, void, void, airmail, second notice, please do something or other, please do not fold, canceled, 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 not paid, first class, special delivery, duplicate, 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 and airmail, and this side up. We decided to play office with the rubber stamps. After that, we had a wrestling match. And after that, we had a pillow fight. And after that, Reggie's father said, bedtime. Already, said Reggie. Already, said his father. We got into bed. Good night, said Reggie's father. Good night, we said. Reggie sighed. I sighed. We can still tell ghost stories, said Reggie. Do you know any, I asked. Uh-huh, said Reggie. Reggie began to tell a ghost story. Once there was this ghost, and he lived in a haunted house. Only he did most of the haunting himself. This house was empty, except for this ghost, because nobody wanted to go near this house. They were so afraid of this ghost. And every night, this ghost would walk around this house and make all kinds of clunky, creaky sounds. Like that. And he would go around looking for people to scare, because that's what he liked most to do, scare people. Oh, he was very scary to look at. Was he scary to look at? Reggie stopped. Are you scared? He asked. Uh-huh, I said, are you? What? Said Reggie. Are you scared? Just a minute, said Reggie. I have to get something. What do you have to get? I asked. Oh, something, said Reggie. Reggie pulled the something out of a drawer. The room was dark, but I could see it had fuzzy arms and legs, and it was about the size of a teddy bear. I looked again. It was a teddy bear. Reggie got back into bed. Now about this ghost, he said. Is that your teddy bear? I asked. What? Said Reggie. Is that your teddy bear? Oh, you mean this teddy bear? The one you're holding, I said. Uh-huh, Reggie answered. Do you sleep with him all the time? What? Said Reggie. Do you sleep with him all of the time? Uh-huh. Does your teddy bear have a name? Does your teddy bear have a name? I said louder. Uh-huh, Reggie said. What is it? You won't laugh, said Reggie. No, I won't laugh, I said. Promise? I promise. It's foo-foo. Foo-foo. Did you say foo-foo? Uh-huh, said Reggie. Just a minute, I said. I have to get something. What do you have to get? Reggie asked. Oh, something, I answered. The next minute, I was ringing my own doorbell. The door opened. Ira, everyone said, what are you doing here? I changed my mind, I answered. You what? Said my mother. You what? Said my father. You what? Said my sister. She was still up. I changed my mind, I said. I decided to take Tata after all. I went upstairs. Soon I was down again with Tata. My sister said, Reggie will laugh. You'll see how he'll laugh. He's just going to fall down laughing. He won't laugh, said my mother. He won't laugh, said my father. He won't laugh, I said. I came back to Reggie's room. I have a teddy bear too, I said. Do you want to know his name? I waited for Reggie to say, uh-huh. But Reggie didn't say, uh-huh. Reggie didn't say anything. I looked at Reggie. He was fast asleep. Just like that, he had fallen asleep. Reggie, wake up, I said. You have to finish telling the ghost story. But Reggie just held his teddy bear closer and went right on sleeping. And after that, well, there wasn't anything to do after that. Good night, I whispered to Tata, and I fell asleep too.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful?
Now it's time for a brief meditation. You can find a comfortable position in your chair, perhaps with your hands resting on your lap. You can choose to close your eyes or lower your gaze if this feels right. Recently, I spent restorative time at Unicamp, which is near Orangeville here in Ontario. It is a conscious community founded in 1959 in which seasonal campers, staff, visitors, and guests are invited to strive to uphold and live our 8 UU principles and our values and live lightly on this earth. Imagine arriving to green, natural surroundings. The dust settles as you stretch your legs after a long trip in the car. Ahead you see a gathering in the grass and hear the tones of communal singing and are called to move toward the music making. Someone moves over, so there's room for you to join. Visualize the sunlight pouring over and through everything, and listen for the simple chant being shared. The dawning of a new day is coming. The dawning of a new day is coming. Golden light is flowing all over the earth. Golden light is flowing all over the earth. The dawning of a new day is coming. The dawning of a new day is coming. Golden light is flowing all over the earth. Golden light is flowing all over the earth. The dawning of a new day is coming. The dawning of a new day is coming. Golden light is flowing all over the earth. Golden light is flowing all over the earth. The dawning of a new day is coming. The dawning of a new day is coming. We can return gently. You can wiggle your toes, your fingers. Maybe open your eyes. But remember the feeling of wholeness, healing, welcome, and belonging. Thank you.
How deeply we are connected to one another's souls, yet how easy it is for us to lose track of those connections. It's possible that you've never given much thought before to the difference between fitting in somewhere and belonging somewhere. They're almost synonyms, but our earlier reading today from Brene Brown takes care to pull apart those definitions and show the difference. She says, fitting in can require changing yourself, and belonging requires being yourself. It's easy to mix them up because it feels good to fit in. It feels genuinely good to fit in somewhere, to feel like you're similar to the people around you, like you're included in something, but it's also possible to fit in and be lonely. It's possible to fit in, even be popular, and still feel like no one knows you. It probably isn't too hard to think of a time you felt that way. at work, at school, with a certain group of friends, even within our own families. Fitting in means becoming a version of ourselves that's enough like everyone else that will be accepted and easily understood. Fitting in means leaving our teddy bears at home so that we can be sure that no one will laugh at us. And belonging is the word we have for what we actually need, what we crave as humans, even more than that good feeling of fitting in. Belonging is the opposite of loneliness. The feeling that every part of you is welcome, even if it's not fully understood or not familiar to everyone else. Belonging means finding a space where you can bring your teddy bear and know that no one will laugh, and that in fact you will find that you're not the only one who needs a teddy bear. And other people were afraid to admit that they have parts of themselves that they are sometimes too scared to show. Churches and temples, sanghas, faith communities, when we are at our best, are places of belonging. Lots of people who really click with a spiritual community will describe an experience that they have early on of arriving in a space, joining a gathering, or these days maybe watching a service online, and feeling this overwhelming sense of rightness, of at-homeness, belonging. Not necessarily because they agree 100% with everything that's being said, and in fact almost certainly not that in a UU space, but because there's a deeper feeling of invitation, being asked to bring your true self, even the parts you would normally leave at home. And this isn't exclusive to faith communities. A sports team, a D&D group, a choir, a family, a friendship, any number of human connections might be a place where you find that deeper invitation. And all of us have parts that we have learned to hide in one way or another. Masking, code switching, closeting, ignoring, denying, or becoming social chameleons for the sake of fitting in this place or another. And depending on what our growing up experience was like, some of us learned to hide those parts, especially at church, most of all at church. Maybe we got dressed up in our fanciest clothes, our least comfortable shoes, put on our best behavior, leaving our comfy pajamas and wiggly, giggly selves back at home. For some of us, we may have learned to hide our whole identity, our queerness, our gender nonconformity, our neurodivergence, or learn simply to hide the fact that we don't believe as we're supposed to, hide the fact that we question anything. The reading quoted said that fitting in requires changing ourselves and belonging requires being ourselves, but for many, many people, learning how to be yourself is a change, a big change. It's not that finding belonging means never having to change. It means that you're changing in the direction toward realness, toward something that is true, toward your best self, the version of yourself that is most you. And that's why finding Unitarian Universalism can be such a revelation for some of us. When you've been hiding parts of yourself for so long, thinking that's what you have to do to fit in, and then you come into a place where suddenly you're surrounded by people who have those same hidden traits, but just completely on display. Out in the open, you see happy gay couples holding hands, or they-them pronoun stickers, or agnostic and atheist faith leaders. And see that they're still accepted, maybe more than accepted, but embraced and surrounded and interwoven into belonging. And that's so powerful to witness that. It can be really healing. And notice I said when we are at our best, we are places of belonging. Because of course, like any group of humans, congregations, even UU congregations, still lose track of the difference between belonging and fitting in. And speaking only for myself, nothing makes me feel more unseen when someone stands up at the front of a UU congregation talking loftily about how we accept everyone, we would never judge anyone, when I know for a fact that my mom's church friends were judging me for wearing my depression sweatpants and unwashed hair the previous Sunday. So it's pretty likely that on a normal Sunday, there's still some difference between our church self and our real, truest, youest self. Maybe it's because you're trying to be extra kind. You're trying to be extra thoughtful and principled here with your neighborhood family, in which case, that's great, nice job. But likely there are also some things like clothing, behavior, beliefs, parts of yourself that you fear would get a bad reaction here. So we all find ways to quietly tuck those away, even lose track of them ourselves. because it takes so little to stomp on those tender and vulnerable feelings when you try bringing your true self out in front of others. Something as small as a sidelong glance, a whisper that you don't quite catch, getting shushed by a grown-up just when you were finally starting to get comfortable in an unfamiliar space. It takes so little to make us hide ourselves away again for fear that we won't truly be welcome. We do catch glimpses of it, though, true belonging, acceptance, community. We know that we're capable of that depth, a genuine welcome to every part of a person. We know that it's possible, and we continue to strive for it. Because belonging isn't just something we enjoy, that we passively receive. It's something we have to actively create for ourselves and for one another. We create it with continued self-reflection, efforts to expand our community circle of welcome, but more than that, we create it with our vulnerability. So remember Reggie and Ira from our story. Both of them were afraid of being laughed at for needing the comfort of a teddy bear. Both of them planned to leave their bears hidden away in order to fit in with what they thought others expected. And we can imagine a version of the story where Reggie never went to the drawer to get his bear. Ira never went home to get his. Both kids would have laid there in the dark, feeling scared, saying nothing, just getting through the night, trying to be brave for the sake of not losing this wonderful friendship. And they would stay friends, though maybe not have quite so many sleepovers. It wouldn't be the end of the world. They would be fitting in with one another and with all the other kids who were too old for teddy bears. It wouldn't necessarily be a sad ending because they would never know what they had lost, what they were missing out on. Instead, thank goodness, in the real story, they're brave enough to show each other their true selves, their teddy bear having selves. They got a chance to be accepted. And though we as readers don't get to see the following morning when they wake up and eat breakfast together with their teddy bears, one can imagine their friendship growing truer and deeper because of that shared vulnerability. It's something we're all in need of, even if we don't always have a sense of what we're missing out on. We can get by on fitting in for a while. It's still nice to get along with people, have a couple different versions of ourselves for different situations. We, meaning we human beings, are hungry for deeper connection, for the comfort of having ourselves accepted and welcomed by our fellow humans. We long for belonging. From our Brene Brown reading again, she writes, embracing our vulnerabilities is dangerous. It is dangerous, but it's not nearly as dangerous as giving up on love and belonging and joy. So this is my prayer for all of us building community together here at NUUC. First, that we celebrate the sense of true belonging when we feel it, whenever and wherever, here or elsewhere in our lives. It's no small thing. It's worth celebrating. Second, that we work to expand that sense to as many as we can. And finally, that we, all of us, risk bringing our whole selves into this space. Whether it's your weird hobbies, your mental health struggles, your mysticism, your love of Jesus, your experience with homelessness, your stimming, your neo-pronouns, your comfy pants, your mistakes and questions and uncertainty. Whatever it is that we're worried won't fit in here, may we take the risk of sharing it anyway. And I wish I could promise that you'll never face misunderstandings or rude behavior or thoughtlessness in response to that vulnerability. I can't. The risk is real. The risk is part of it. But what I can promise is that there is someone else here longing to be reassured that they are not the only one. Whatever it is that you need to bring, there is someone here who needs to know that they are not alone. Needs to see your unique brand of belonging in order to know that they too are worthy and capable of being accepted for who they are. So may we honor that longing for belonging in ourselves and in each other. May we expand our circle and our willingness to risk judgment for the sake of truth, for the sake of building a truer home for all who need it. Amen, and blessed be. And I will now hand us off to Allison. Thank you.
Thank you. We have our time for offering. This congregation is a living entity, and like all living things, it must have nurture and sustenance. So if you contribute by pre-authorized withdrawals or by using the QR code, we thank you. And we want to thank you all for your generosity. Do you have music?
All right, as our greeters pass the baskets, I will be sharing some of the many programs and efforts that we take part in here at Neighborhood that your generosity makes possible. There are so many ways to connect and get involved here. So let me share some of the life of our community. Coming soon in September, we will have a new gallery, an art project called Experiments Number 9, which I will say my autocorrect tried many times to correct experiments. Experiments Number 9 by local artist Ryan Kellen. You can meet the artist in person on September 14th, right after our service. A reminder that today is our potluck picnic in the park. So grab a coffee here after service. We'll all be walking, driving, or rolling down to Withrow Park Fire Circle. It's about a 10 to 15 minute walk. And if you forgot to bring a dish to share, please don't worry. We still want you there. We want your beautiful presence, and we want you to bring your appetite. And we have a map of the walk to Withrow Park to just refresh your memory. We'll head east on Danforth and then south on Logan. And Julia has already gone ahead to claim some of the picnic tables around the fire circle. Also, joining us at the picnic today will be Lillian, our new fundraising coordinator, who will be able to meet some of you all. Please introduce yourself. She'll be working with our fundraising and pledge teams. Definitely welcome her, and if you want to email her, she's at fundraising@nuuc.ca. Some opportunities to connect coming up. There will be a karaoke party here, right here in Rayfus Hall on Saturday, September 13th, 7:30. No skill or experience needed. All are welcome. Also coming up, NUUC has officially added our name to, among many other community groups, endorse the Draw the Line rally, a rally for people, for peace, and for the planet, which will be on Saturday, September 20th. If you want to be involved, email Tony at president@nuuc.ca. And anyone curious about membership here at Neighborhood, or any newcomer who just has questions about what it looks like to join or get involved here, sign up for the next Pathway to Membership Day, which will be Saturday, November 1st. There are more details in the weekly Friday email announcements, or you can talk to me about it. And as always, check the screen in the cappuccino room, just through the glass wall there during coffee hour for even more opportunities. There's always a million events happening, including upcoming small groups that you might want to join for the fall. So next Sunday, we won't be having a service. It's our final summer week, but our neighbor congregation, First Unitarian of Toronto, is celebrating finally being in their new building. They have been on a long journey. They are having their first service there today, and it would be so great if we could show up in numbers to support and celebrate with them next week on the 31st. So consider making a plan with a neighborhood friend or two to make the trip over there next Sunday. And then finally, our next service will be on September 7th. It will be led by Dr. Leslie Solomania, who is a member at First Unitarian and a lifelong activist, speaking about activism as a spiritual practice.
If you have found love and acceptance here, if you have found home here, if you have known kindred spirits here, let this offering be a token of gratitude for our common life as we build the common good. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so I know I've invited you all just now to bring your vulnerable, hidden, complicated selves into this community, but I also know how hard it can be to start doing that and how real the risk of judgment can feel. I, despite all appearances, am an introverted person. There's no way I'd ever bring that kind of vulnerability into like coffee hour, chatting over cheese and crackers, especially if I'm brand new somewhere. So I wanted to close our time together with an invitation for a more manageable, small-scale embrace of vulnerability together, which will hopefully demonstrate that wherever it is you're coming from, you're not alone in this space. So we're going to play a quick game of human barometer, which will involve standing up and moving around. So if you're up for that, you can stand and maybe give a stretch now, get ready. You don't have to run or anything. If you'd rather not stand, or if you're watching online, please just stay where you are and enjoy your role as observer. So to play human barometer, you just imagine two sides with a gradient in between. So for example, I could say the back wall, the glass wall is cake, and the front wall is cookies. And then you have to arrange yourself along that line according to your degree of love for cake and cookies. You love cake, you hate cookies, you're standing at the back wall. You love them equally, or don't care for either of them, you're standing in the middle. You love cookies with all your heart and soul, you're standing at the front. Why don't we give that a try? Move freely about the cabin. A strong stance for cookies up here. All right, okay, we get the concept. I see we have, again, a good distribution of cake and cookie love here. So let's do some more interesting questions. Now, how about, when it comes to your faith community, whether that's here or somewhere else, do you most hope to feel safe, or do you most hope to feel challenged? And if you want to feel safe, back glass wall. If you most want to feel challenged, front wall. I thought I might see you here. Okay, this is great. If I were really smart, I'd be taking pictures of like, all right, the people who want to feel challenged, you're going to be some kind of action group. All right, again, we have a spectrum. Okay, this is going to be extra tough for this congregation, I know. Which do you need more on a Sunday? Silence on the back wall or singing on the front wall? Yeah. This would be a very sneaky way to assemble the choir up here to start singing. All right, okay, this will be the last one. So think about the words of our mission, right? We work together for spiritual growth, to empower spiritual growth and shared action for the care of our world. So in the words of our mission, do you feel personally more called to shared action along the back wall or to spiritual growth along the front wall? Which one speaks more to your heart, to your journey? No, the glass wall, shared action, the chalice wall, spiritual growth. All right. All right, we've got, David is hugging the spiritual growth wall. Thank you, this is beautiful. And yes, I hope I am getting so much out of this, observing the flow of the community and the many different ways that we're coming into this space. I hope that you're also observing and absorbing some of this sense. And I am grateful for you all being willing to participate, be vulnerable, to make visible some of your perspectives and beliefs. And we are all going to keep standing and move right into our closing circle. So wherever you're at, if you would like to reach out to a person next to you, you don't have to. You can bump elbows. You can channel energy toward. And wherever Prakash ended up in this giant circle, if you come forward to extinguish our chalice. Thank you. All right, and please join in singing our chalice extinguishing song. May we go out into the world today knowing that there are places we've never been where we already belong. May we find them, may we make them, and may we always know that whatever it is we're hiding, there is someone else who desperately needs to see it, and know that what they're hiding is not so strange, not so unique, that we are all in this together. Go in peace, go enjoy, go and picnic together in the park. Amen and blessed be.